Hello, everybody. Okay, I've never done this before. Hope it turns out okay. I only have 15 minutes of free time, so I'm going to try and breeze through this. But there were just some clarification things that I wanted to go through on this presentation. Obviously, this took me like 45 minutes um, at seminar, but we're gonna cut it down. We're gonna cut it down 15. It's fine. We don't need introductions. Okay. A big thing for building your personal brand is like you want to feel so deeply connected to your brand. And sometimes that's scary because a lot of us are just thinking like, oh, you can see, I should like turn on Do Not Disturb or something so you guys don't see all my things that come through. That's fine. I make this bigger. Essentially, what I'm meaning by this is I want you to be open to like feeling and really reflecting on the reasons why you joined your business, why you love it. Um, and that'll help you so much in the long run when you're working on building your personal brand. I don't know where to look. I keep like looking different places. So just remember that as we go on. Why do you need to build a brand? Okay. Having a solid brand will help you remain consistent. It'll keep you motivated. When you're exhausted, it'll pump you up, and it'll help you put content into context. So all the time we're like trying to think of, oh, what should I post next? What's something I can post? And it's really easy when you have a really solid brand. You can like look at what your goals are, your end goals, your brand promises, things like that, and it helps you create content really easily. Um, doesn't matter what you're doing. Okay. What is a brand? So a brand is not your business logos or your marketing or like your business cards, things like that. We always think like, oh, I need new branding. And like, yeah, like logos and colors are good to have and like they're a part of your brand, but at the same time, that's more so marketing. We're talking about like the personification of your company. It's what gives people feelings. It's why you go to Target over Walmart. It's why you go to Chick-fil-A over McDonald's or vice versa. Sometimes you're going to Walmart because you didn't shower. Just kidding. Walmart is amazing. You guys, I don't know if you've been there lately. They really stepped up their game. So nothing against Walmart. But like, do you want to be treated super well? You go to Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. I eat there almost daily. Sometimes just don't care. But anyway, it gives people feelings. You know what I mean? Okay, this is what the CEO of Amazon said. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So think about that. Like, what are people saying about your business? Are they saying it brings them joy? Are they saying they've learned so much? Are they saying, like, whatever they are saying about your business, that's a big part of your brand. It's how, I mean, it's what I just said about Target and Walmart. You know what I mean? Like, um, it's what we say about these stores that we shop at, restaurants we go to, things like that. And if you don't define your brand, other people will define it for you. So if you don't try to get one foot in front of your customers and tell them what you're about and show them what you're about, they're going to decide what you're about for you. And so that's why it's really important to build your brand. Okay, you have to start with your why. Now, this is gonna get deep. This is part of that whole getting uncomfortable thing that I was telling you about. I want you to feel, because a lot of times we think we have our why. And you might have a really solid why, and it's okay for whys to evolve. Um, but my why when I started, I always say like my why was so I could stay home with my babies, which is good. It's a very good why. But as I've grown in my business, my why has changed. And the biggest thing you need to know about your why, and this might shock some of you guys might know this, your why has nothing to do with money. So I'm gonna say that again. Your why has nothing to do with money, because if it has something to do with money, you're gonna hit that and your why will be consistently changing. When I first started this business, I wanted to make an extra $500 so we could pay our car payment and I could help with like utilities at home, stuff like that. And so I always thought like my why was so I could make $500 a month. And then I was. And so my why was so I could I spoil my husband, which was like a really good why. I love spoiling him. He so deserves it. But now that like those things have happened, excuse me, I've been able to do those things. What is my why now? What's going to be like my eternal why? Like the why that keeps me going no matter how many times I hit my goal, no matter how many times I like those monetary goals. It's something that is underlying beneath all of that. It's a greater why. So it's gonna take a second for you to like get there, and that's okay. I don't have that much time. In the breakout session, this was like workshopped, like everyone's writing on pen and paper, and I gave them time to think of these things. So I'm gonna go pretty quickly. So pause, okay? Pause this video as you go. What I want you to do right now is write down something you're super good at. And you guys, I went straight from Tulsa to California, and now I'm here in Kansas. I've been home since seminar. And I left my personal notebook with my husband in California, which has like what I wrote down. Otherwise, I'd share that example with you, but I'll try to. Anyway, I want you to write down something you're super awesome at. And it doesn't have to be a talent like piano or dance or violin, which it can be. It can be that you're really good at making people feel loved. Like it could be that you can talk to anyone. It could be that you are really smart in like a certain area. You know everything about how to make the perfect ranch dressing. I love ranch, you guys. I don't know. I'm hungry, I think. Anyway, whatever you're super good at, and don't think too hard, because sometimes I feel like the first thing we naturally say, we're not super good at anything. We really do. I feel like if you don't have that like straightforward talent that most people, not most people, a lot of people have, we just think we're not good at anything. Or not at least super good at anything. We're kind of like, oh, I'm average at everything. But there's something you're super good at. And it doesn't have to be something that you're going on to America's Next or America's Got Talent for, but just something that you're really good at. And I gave the example of you can be really good at cleaning off your countertops every night. Like, is that something you do every single night? And then you're going to write down the 3 to 4 qualities that it takes to be super awesome at that thing. So my example that I wrote down was that I'm a really good hype girl. And like I said, this isn't something I'm auditioning for, but I'm a really good hype girl. So if someone comes to me and they share, you know, their goals or aspirations, anything like that, or they say they want to try something new, I'm the yes queen. Like, I'm such a good hype girl. I'm a really good supporter. I know that I'm a good friend. Don't get me wrong. I gossip. I'm working on it. Like, sometimes I'm not a good friend, but overall, like, people know that if they come to me, I'm an encouraging person and that I will be their hype girl. And the qualities that I wrote down were like enthusiasm, energy, love. There was something else. Anyway, the qualities that I have to be a good hype girl. I love my friends. I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of enthusiasm. And then what was the fourth one? I know there were 4. Anyway, so this is the moment you're going to pause, and I'm going to have you write this down. Okay? Write down whatever it is. It could be anything. Oh, the woman next to me, when I did this workshop for the first time, it was like almost 2 years ago. She wrote down she was really good at making her kids lunches every day. And talked about how that takes like organization and love and patience and memory, because she would make like different things for each kid. So go ahead and pause, write down something you're really good at. If you're still watching, we're going on, but if you're paused, welcome back. Okay, now we're going to this next slide, and this slide you are going to pause, because what you're going to do is you're going to write down, this next slide is going to have a series of words. It's going to have 6 little bubbles, each bubble is a different color, and it's going to have words. So as you're writing them down, I would keep them in their bubbles, because you want to pay attention to how many you have in each bubble, based on the color. So you're going to pick words that you just feel resonate with you, that you can attach to you or your business. So I would not pick the word like organized or organization or something if it's on there, because I'm literally not. Like, I just got here last night at like 11 o'clock. I'm at my parents' house and it's like a mess. I have no organization. But words like joy, energy, enthusiasm, things like that, I pick because I feel like those attach to me and my business and what I want to emulate in my business. So I'm going to go to the next page, and I want you to pause it so you can write these down. Remember, keep them in their little sections because they'll make it easier. But go ahead and pause and write down these words. I'm going to keep this recording going though. So pause. Okay. Now, oh my goodness, what is happening? Can I pause my recording? We're back. Okay. It like just needed a second to load and think about things. Okay. So I want you to look at what colors you selected the most of. If I go back, is it going to do that same thing? Oh, yeah, no. What 2 colors did you select the most of? So if it was like red, bubble, green, purple, orange, black, or white, which 2 did you choose the most words from? I believe mine personally were black and green. But go ahead and write that down, and we're gonna come to this page. Oh my gosh, Walmart. I know you miss me. Okay. Um, there are 6 fundamental human needs. You guys, you've just stay with me. We have 5 minutes left. There are 6 fundamental human needs, and whichever the two that you picked that like were the highest on your list are most likely the two that go hand in hand with why you started your business. So, like I said, mine were green and black, identity and significance, and connection and love. And so when I heard that, I was like, well, yeah, I like to talk to people. Identity, I'm not really sure what that means, but okay, like we'll get into this. So go ahead and read through these. I'm going to keep going because we literally have 4.5 minutes. But you're going to write down the two that you picked the most of. Now, go back to that thing that you're super awesome at. So mine was being a hype girl. How does that fit those two fundamental human needs that you wrote down? So connection, love, identity, and significance. I personally feel like being a hype girl, it gives me a purpose, which goes with that identity, significance, like wanting to feel unique, wanting to have a purpose. It gives me a purpose. It makes me feel like I'm a certain person to my friends. It gives me that role, you know what I mean? Like I'm the encourager, I'm the empowerer. And then it also connects me to people, makes me feel closer to people. It also helps people love themselves more because of who I am. I help people love themselves more, which gives them that identity, significance, as well as make them feel connected and loved. So think of that thing you're awesome at, whatever it was. If it was cleaning off your countertops, how does that meet your two fundamental human needs? Whatever those two were. If it was making your kids lunches, how does that meet those two needs, those top two that you wrote down? Okay. We're going to get deep again. Why did you start your business? Not the reason you tell everyone. So for me, it's not so I can make $500 a month. Which is what I tell everyone. I literally tell everyone that. It's just easier to say that. But honestly, when I look back, and like for a long time, I was like, that is why I started my business. I just really needed $500 a month. But honestly, you guys, there are so many things you could be doing that get you $500 a month, that get you whatever you're saying you started your business. There's a lot of different things you could be doing to do that. So, like for example, I could get a job anywhere. I used to be a teacher. I could be substituting. I could be doing private tutoring and things like that. So why Senegence? Like, why did I join Senegence? And I had to think back to the state I was in when I started my business. My little boy was 3 years old. Not three. He turns 3 on Monday. He was not 3 years old. He was 3 months old. And man, he was a hard baby. Like he was really hard and super colicky, awful. I didn't like him at all. Just kidding. I love him. He's really so cute and so sweet now. But he was a hard baby, and I quit teaching. It was summertime, and I was trying to I got my last paycheck August or July 31st or something like that, and I signed up August 2nd to do this. And I honestly know that like I was looking just for something to give me a purpose, like just give me something more than being a mom. I struggled really bad with postpartum anxiety, like really bad. And when I started Senegence, I was on medication. I was doing okay, so that was good. But I needed something to give me a purpose outside of being a mother, because the 3 months that summer that I had, I stopped teaching, had my baby. Those 3 months were the first 3 months in my life that I had stopped working since I was like 14. Like I always just had a job. I always had something to do. And I think it was really this identity crisis for me of being a mom is such an honorable thing to be. However, like for me personally, I needed more. Like I needed something else that was more than being a mom. It wasn't fulfilling enough for me personally. And I'm not saying if being a mom is fulfilling to you that it's wrong. But so I believe that I started Senegence because I was looking for something to give me a purpose outside of being a mother. So write down why you started your business. And you guys, I gotta do 2 of these because I'm almost out of time and we still have like halfway to go. Not halfway, but we have more. And I don't want this to be so rushed that I don't get my point across with you. So we're gonna move on as long as we can. And then I have to start a new recording. So what fundamental needs do you think you were trying to fulfill when you started? So for me, it was identity and significance. I needed a purpose. I needed something that was outside of being a mother that gave me something to do. Okay, I had to get reset, but here we go. So think about what fundamental needs you were trying to fulfill when you started. Um, and here's the list of them. I will click back if you want to pause and just read through what kind of each one means. Certainty, assurance that you can avoid pain and gain pleasure. Basically, that's like you're getting a job for the security, which honestly, Senegence is like a network marketing, I feel like isn't necessarily the most like secure option, even though it's great. It's secure if you work, but anyway, just whatever fundamental need you were trying to fulfill when you started your business. Think of one or two. Now, take the top two needs from that words exercise. So I had the most black and green words. Take those top two. And the top one or two that you were trying to fulfill when you started, if they weren't the same, which they like mine, I had identity and significance both times and connection and love. So those are like my two. If they weren't the same two, which they should be, like they should align. Oh my gosh, my screen is dirty. I was like, what is on my face? Also, there could be something on my face. I just don't even know. Um, anyway, pick those top two and narrow it down to one word. So I want you to like, I'll go back to this words page and I want you to like look at those two and narrow it down to like one word that really you feel like encompasses your business, whether that is like fun or joy or empower or challenge, change, like any word that you feel like kind of encompasses your whole business and like all these thoughts and feelings you've had so far during these exercises of why you started your business and what needs you were trying to fulfill and what you're good at, things like that. Think of like just one word. Mine personally, I don't like sharing my examples all the time because I want you guys to really think of this on your own. But mine is empower, which some of yours can be empower too. We're all gonna, like lots of us are gonna have same ones, but if it's different, that's great too. Some of my other favorite words, I'm looking through this notebook. My like belonging is a really good one for me. Fun is a big one for me. Kindness and joy, those are all big ones for me. But just think of yours. My like biggest one is empower. So then you're gonna create your why statement. So I gave a bunch of examples. I want to help women feel their worth. We want to help families feel connected. I want to empower women to love themselves. We want to challenge athletes to push limits. I want to bring joy to people's lives, etc. So whatever your why statement is, whatever, take that root word that you just created and incorporate that into a why statement. And it doesn't have to be like anything crazy or insightful. Mine is literally 5 words. And it's what keeps me going every day of like why I want to do this business. And if yours is like, I want to bring joy to people's lives, every time you go to create a post, you're going to be able to ask, like, who is this going to bring joy to? Is it going to be joy? Like, that's your end goal all the time. That is your brand, is that you are bringing joy to people's lives. And so that's why it kind of goes back to having a solid brand helps you with your content. So if you need to pause, go ahead and pause. Think of your like why statement. Okay, next we're moving on to brand promises. So brand promises are what you are going to consistently offer your customers, VIPs, etc. We are all Senegence distributors, so a lot of our brand promises are going to be the same because we offer the same products, we offer the same opportunity. But the additional brand promises that you specifically are going to offer are going to be different. And the thing is, you can have brand promises that you're going to offer your customers, and then ones you're going to offer your team. So you're going to offer your team, say you've created this like amazing outlined onboarding system, and you're like, I'm going to offer that to them every single time, even though we have dots now, which is like amazing. But whatever you're going to consistently offer. So I have examples of brand promises on a page right here. Yeah, sample brand promises. Nike to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And they have like a little side thing. It's like an athlete is anyone with a body. So their goal is to always bring inspiration and innovation to every person. H&M is more fashion choices that are good for people, the planet, and your wallet. Senegence, we empower women around the world to live life in love and abundance through careers that really work, selling innovative beauty products that really work. So you're gonna have brand promises, and this is a good part to like pause and think of your brand promises. Go back to those amazing qualities that you had, that you wrote down. You wrote down the thing you're good at, and you wrote down the qualities that it takes. I'm not sure why there's like a big gap right there. But if you're not a tactful, organized person, don't promise to be one. Like, I've never made the promise to my customers that I'm going to be super professional all the time. I try to be, obviously, but they also know me as this like lighthearted, fun person. One thing that I always promise to them is honesty, which I have it like, I don't have my workbook that has it all in there, but I have it laid out in a more like formal sentence. But I'm very honest with them. They know they can trust me. That helps build trust. One of my brand promises is whenever I try something new, I try it on live almost every time. And I'm not a professional makeup artist, and I'm not very good at doing makeup. Like, I'm still so bad. And my VIPs, they know that. And so they can expect me to, they know that when they come watch a video of me, that it's not gonna be perfect. And I get a lot of people who relate to that. If you are a professional makeup artist, that needs to be one of your brand promises, that people will get like really awesome tips and everything from you. And it's going to attract a whole nother market that I'm attracting, because I am getting people who probably have never put makeup on ever. Like, seriously, that a lot of my VIPs are very new to makeup, and they relate to me because I'm not very good at it. If you're more advanced in makeup, you're going to get people who are also more advanced. Someone who's advanced in makeup they don't want anything to do with me because I have no idea what I'm doing. So think of that in your brand promises. And it's okay, because look, I'm going to come to this right here. If you try to be everything to everybody, you will become nothing to anyone. Like, if you try to make everybody your target market, you're not going to be successful. And so that's why I kind of focus on, like I said, people who are new to makeup. I feel like they are more of my demographic. Someone who's really experienced in makeup, they can't learn anything from me. I learn from them. It's great. But, it's not really this like client, their client, I'm professional relationship. Anyway, so this goes into, I talked about this. I don't have a slide for this, but I talked about it during my workshop, having a client avatar, which I just learned about like a couple months ago. Thought it was awesome. And basically, this is a workbook from a summit I helped coach at, and they were talking about it. And I was like, this is brilliant. Can't believe I've never learned this. But basically, it asks, I think like 12 or 13 questions about our ideal client. And you give her a name, everything. So I'm gonna redo these questions. And every time you post, every time you put something out there, you are trying to attract your client. So mine is Sarah. So who is your client? What's her name, age, gender, location, etc.? What's their home life like? What's their work life like? Their financial status? What do they do? Where, when, why, and with whom? What do they do in their leisure time, social interests, hobbies, etc.? Where do they go? Stores, restaurants, clubs, events, online and offline. Who do they spend their time with? Who do they follow on social media? What are their pain points? What's causing them an issue right now? What big problems are getting in their way? Who and what are they influenced by? What outcomes are they looking for? How can their problems be solved? How would they feel if their problems/frustrations were solved? How do they see your products/services solving their problem? What does it say about them if they invest in your brand? So those are the questions. There's so many. You can Google client avatar, like worksheets, and you'll get a bunch. But I answered all these questions, and I have this perfect Sarah in my mind, and she's great. Sarah she has no kids. She's like early 30s. She's married. She has a couple cats. She's beautiful, but she doesn't really wear a lot of makeup, and her husband is obsessed with her, just thinks she's so awesome, and loves when she feels confident and she tries something new, and he's like, oh my gosh, she's seeing the way I see her. She shops at Target and Walmart. She's not really big in like Lululemon, Victoria's Secret. She's kind of like an off-brand girl, which is great. I just like this is I literally have this Sarah in my head, and she's awesome, and she's my ideal client. You can create a client avatar for customers and distributors too. If you want someone completely different on your team than you're selling to, make 2 client avatars. I would not recommend making more than 2, just because that's going to get too scatterbrained. But if you target a person, you target a specific person who has all these thoughts and feelings, it's going to branch out and target, like it's going to relate to people who have anything in common with Sarah, with your person. So, because sometimes we try to make things too broad and no one is connecting to it. But if you're making it specific enough to a certain person, other people will relate to it. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Your brand promises are you're going to take your why and give it a how. So I want to empower women through long-lasting cosmetics that make them feel beautiful. That's my why. I want to empower women, and that's a how. That's one of our brand promises because that's something we all sell. Next slide, Kate. You want 3 to 5 brand promises. So here's some that we all have, and then you want to think of unique ones that only you have. Sorry, I'm trying to end this before it gets way too long. Okay. Last but not least, remember, having a solid brand will excite you when you're exhausted. Knowing exactly what you want to offer your customers will help you with content creation, collaborations, team building. You'll have a better understanding of who and what aligns with your brand, and that understanding will help you grow. So I mentioned collaborations in there because if you ever do collaborations with other boutiques or companies, you want to collaborate with people who align with your brand promises, who have similar goals, because if they are very opposite of you, if you want to like make women love themselves and they want to like push women to break out of their comfort zone, which is like good too, but like, you know what I mean? Having a solid brand laid out will help you with that. It will help you with collaborations, etc. So that is all I have. Please comment with any questions. I'm going to end this because we're already at like almost 30 minutes. And like I said, get uncomfortable with yourself. Really reflect on yourself. Don't be afraid to love yourself. And like, I know it's hard when we go back to that thinking of what you're good at because we've been conditioned not to brag about ourselves, but like brag about yourself and like freaking love yourself for like 2 seconds and think of something you're really good at and write it down. And I just hope that this helps you and helps your business. And thank you to those of you who came to my class at seminar. And thank you for those of you who are watching this now. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'm happy to help you in any way I can. And love you all. Love Senegence. Love the sisterhood. I got to end this. Bye.